Welcome to another Aphantasia clip on YouTube. This one's about sensory experience. It was something I thought about when I was watching television. I was watching a new series on Amazon Prime, the Jack Ryan series, and I was suddenly aware of how immersive I was into the program, to the extent of I forgot I was watching it. It felt like the real world experience. I mean, that sounds a bit weird, I know, but I suppose I didn't think I had the capacity even to be that immersed in something situationally. So I guess it's, in experience terms, it's something I didn't really think about happening. So I didn't really understand it, but then I thought about it and thought this is possibly what people talk about when they say, oh, I'm reading a book and it's kind of everything. It brings everything into my mind. So I guess it's possibly what it feels like when people are reading. But for me, I mean, I'm obviously watching something that's been visually brought into my mind. So I guess from that bit, it's easier. But I suppose as someone with aphantasia, I was surprised it worked that way. I suppose I didn't think that I would have that much of an immersive capacity. I would be watching it, but then I would always be conscious and aware that I'm actually watching it. But that didn't seem to be the case, and it still doesn't. And even though I'm aware of what I'm talking about now, I'm thinking, well, now I know it, would I still feel that way? Yes, I do, and I am. I still watch it, and I can still be transported into it. I guess it's akin to being asleep. You're never consciously aware of falling asleep, but often you can be aware of waking up. But there was a point at which you were not asleep, and then you are, but you're never aware of that moment when you fell asleep. And I guess it's like that. I'm never aware of where I'm watching a program, and then suddenly it becomes the immersive experience and I'm excluding everything else. But then I am aware when I suddenly stop being immersed in the experience and I'm looking at the television screen thinking, oh yeah, I've been watching that for an hour, I didn't really realise. So the concept of time probably disappears as well in terms of real time. The program time, okay, that's obvious, and you're watching something within the context of what's happening on the screen, so it has some chronological flow to it. They're doing certain things in certain times. But in terms of real time in the room, I'm not aware of that. But I'm still getting back to the question of how does that happen? Because I'm surprised I can do that. Because with aphantasia, I don't store any experiences, it seems. And if I'm not doing that, then how is this working? It does seem slightly strange for me that occurs that way. Now, you're probably watching this and thinking, well, you've got a different opinion on what I'm talking about, and feel free to write to me and ask me, because I'm still trying to explore and understand this one. I'm not saying I understand it by any means. I think it's a learning experience, this one. It's very much why is that happening that way? Because I guess the more I understand about aphantasia, the more I feel about it's in the moment thing. So if it's only in the moment, why would I not realise that I'm watching something in the moment? How am I able to be immersed so much? Which is a question I have. I don't know why. I wouldn't have expected that. Now, if you're going to look at this and go, well, of course you should expect that. That's kind of how it works anyway. I don't really know, I suppose. I'm curious, naturally curious. I mean, especially if you watch some of the other YouTube clips, I always ask questions and think, why does it work this way? How does it work this way? Why do I think that way? Because more than anything else, that's how we learn and how we understand things. But I didn't expect the immersive stuff to be that much. Now, I thought about, have I always been like that? And I think, yes, I have. I guess it was my form of escapism. So in the way that people possibly without aphantasia, or maybe those that can do as well with aphantasia, can read and be immersed in a book, I guess this is a similar thing, except for me that can't happen. I never read a book and become that immersed. So I guess that's the difference, is if somebody artificially creates that world, I can become immersed in that world. But if I've got to create it from reading material that then transports my mind there, that won't really be possible. I can't do that. So it makes me think that there is more to that than I really understood. But I'd like those that maybe read and can create stuff themselves. I'd be interested to know how that works. Is it similar to a television experience, or is it different? Anyway, just to think about. I just thought about that this weekend, and I thought I'd share it and see what people thought. But it's mainly about the immersive side of an experience. It's about, you feel honestly like you're not in the room. You don't know what's going on. You're so immersed in what's on that screen. You're not watching it on a screen anymore. It's almost part of your mind's experience, which is why it feels so uniquely different when I talk about how in Aphantasia, when I can't do that normally. So it's not just me watching it and seeing it through my eyes. It's almost like my mind is experiencing it. It's that immersive. But I'm curious as to why. Anyway, gonna leave you with that thought. But thanks for watching. There are a few more videos if you want to watch others. If you like one on a particular subject, or you think there's an area I don't cover, let me know. Always interested to see what people think about what we do and how some of this stuff works. Thanks for watching.